My name's Kim Pickering. I'm an orthotist at Dorset Orthopaedic, and today I'll be doing casting for a SAFO Classic. So we're just going to be first doing the measurements for the SAFO. So that's on the back of the form. So firstly I'm going to measure up the height. So depending on the height of the SAFO, we're going to measure the top circumference. So on Neil we'll be doing it 24 centimetres high, and then measuring a circumference around there. And then you'll be recording that circumference and then writing it down on the order form. Then the above ankle circumference is 16 centimetres high. And again, taking another measurement through there. Okay, and recording on the form. The next one down is over the widest part of the ankle, over the malleoli. So taking that one. The measurement needs to be quite firm, but not so it's distorting any flesh. The next one will be the short heel. So the longest part around the ankle and the heel, taking that one. Then moving down again, if you can just lift your heel, that's perfect. Over the instep. So again, taking that measurement. Then moving further down the foot, just behind the met heads, taking that one. And then the last one is over the met heads, so the widest point over the forefoot. Okay, and they all need to be recorded on the measurement form. So from there, I'm going to put a damp stockinette over. So if you were to cast, if you wanted the SAFO to be worn over a sock, you could put the sock underneath and then put the stockinette over the top. So then you have an allowance for the sock, or if the SAFO is to be worn next to the skin, just put the stockinette over. So I'm just going to pop this over. That's great. Pop that all the way up. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off the excess of the stockinette. So it helps if the stockinette is quite nice and thin. Then from there I'm going to make my markings. So these are all the bony landmarks. So firstly, the medial malleolus. Then the lateral malleolus. Then feel if the base of the fifth metatarsal is quite prominent, then I would mark that as well. The fifth met head. Then over on the dorsum, so just the very prominent part of the dorsum, mark there. Then lastly, the first met head. Just checking to make sure there's no other kind of prominent bony landmarks that need to be marked. Then we use a metal strip that goes down the front. So try and mould it as closely as possible. And at this point I would usually just move your foot back into just about 3 degrees of dorsiflexion. So now we're going to start with the casting. I usually use a couple of rolls of plaster, usually a 20 and a 15. Pop this back over, then start wrapping. The height of the cast needs to be at least 28 centimetres. Just to giving them enough allowance to rectify the cast. If you wouldn't mind lifting your foot up for me, that's fab, thank you. Keep on wrapping. And pop that down for a second and then just wet the second plaster roll. lifting up again, that's great. And extend the plaster to just past the met heads. It doesn't need to cover the toes, but just so it's all the way past the met heads. Thank you. You're just moulding in the plaster. Then I would just check that the foot's in quite a neutral position, so it's not pronated or supinated. And then also just check the angle. So again, we're looking for about 3 degrees of dorsiflexion. And then just wait for the plaster to go off. Is that okay? Then I would just mark the cast just before we cut it off. Cut down the metal strip. Stockinetta. Down. So if you wouldn't mind just lifting your leg up, that'd be great, thank you. And then once you have the cast, just take out the stockinette. And then just ensure all the bony landmarks are in on the inside of the cast. And then before you send that into us, just be good just to seal the cast down the front just to protect it. And that's everything.